What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. Today we have access to the world map, which means we can also access the main menu, which I'm going to go over basically all the stuff in this menu today. So, first off, let's change around the options a little bit. I want to turn that to up. Display speed, let's turn that to fast. Move the name on, effect message on, that on, target flashing on. No, let's turn that off. That's good. Okay. Cursor, no, we want that on fast. Okay, that looks good. So, let's start with the Brave story. This is basically just your source for the backstory of the game. If you go to records, you get like a little text representation of the scenes you've seen, and you can replay the scene by pressing triangle. You get a little bio on different people. So if you're not quite sure what exactly is going on, sometimes it can be good to read through some of the bios and figure out exactly what people are doing. And there's more you can do later, but honestly I don't really care a whole lot about the Brave story. The most important thing, although, is our formation menu. This is of course where we do stuff with our characters. So first thing I want to do is remove everyone's equipment. And I'm doing this just so that I can kind of equip everyone as I please. So let's start off by equipping Ramza to max. I want to equip the broadsword instead of the mithril knife. They have the exact same power, but I only have one mithril knife, and I want to give that to my chemist rather than, well, because chemists can't use swords. So let's see, who else did I say I want to use? I want to use this guy, so let's get his stuff all equipped. Just equip him best, throw on a broadsword. And I wanted her. So give her the mithril knife. And then I guess my other male dude. Him, and one of these two, I guess her. And I will give Delita the dregs, so to speak. He's just a guest, so I don't really care as much about his stuff. So now, I want to talk a little bit about my plans for these characters. So Ramza, usually I have him be like my big damage dealer. He focuses on doing like lots of physical damage. This guy, Brett, he's got high faith, and so he is going to be a black mage kind of thing. He's going to focus on doing magic damage. Tim, these are just random names by the way. He is going to be like a heavy armor type character. He's going to have like shields and heavy armor like knights and stuff like that. Jessica is going to focus on speedy classes like ninjas and thieves and stuff. And Liza, let's go with Liza, is going to be basically just a healer. And what, of course, determines those things is jobs, but at this point we don't have a whole lot by way of job class options. And the way you unlock extra jobs is with your job levels, which you can see here. So it's level 2 squire, level 1 chemist, level 1 knight, level 1 archer. As your job levels go up, you unlock new classes. So for example, a level 2 chemist would unlock black and white mages. Or I believe they're called wizard and priest in the original translation of the game. But you can also use job points to unlock abilities for each class. So I want to learn gain JP up, and that's about all for now. So now I want to assign that ability, and you have a bunch of different types of abilities you can assign. Every class has a primary type ability. You can see it says Guts, or basic skill for normal squires, and item for chemists. And then you can equip the primary ability of a secondary job class as well. So for example, I want to give pretty much everyone item, and give him basic skill. And I actually don't... No, I'll give Delita item. Then this little arrow is a reactive ability, like a counterattack, but we don't know any of those quite yet. This is a support ability, which I guess everyone knows equip change, but gain JP up is the only one I know that actually does anything. And you can get movement abilities. And they're divided up the same way in the learning menu here. You got like activated abilities, counter abilities, or reactive abilities, support abilities, and movement abilities. So I want to spend a while for my crew as squires, and in the case of Lisa, as a chemist, to kind of learn some of the basics of their classes. Let's see if I can actually learn anything good for the crew. Throw stone is pretty good. That's well, it's not necessarily good, but it's useful. It's a nice range attack. His JP is a little bit higher, so I want to hold on to that because I want to get everyone gain JP up. And he has basically nothing. Now, this fellow also happens to have a bunch of JP for other classes, Knight and Archer namely. So, can't learn anything for Knight because Knight abilities are all kind of expensive, but Archer, I can teach him charge +2. So let's go with that. And we'll give him charge instead of item. Basically that just lets you charge up your physical attack to do extra damage, but when you actually activate it, it's delayed a little bit. I'll get a little bit more into stuff, the specifics when it becomes more pertinent. But the one thing I also want to mention was the 5 characters that I specified earlier, Ramza, Tim, Brett, Jessica, and Lisa. They are going to be basically my primary party. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to remove these others so I don't get confused. They are going to be my 5 main characters for the entire game. You get a bunch of like hero characters like Delita and Ramza throughout the game, but I don't like to use them for a couple of reasons. For one, it kind of defeats the purpose, I think, if you're using a character like that you just kind of get partway through, because a lot of the charm of this game is building up your party and kind of customizing them the way you like. But when you get a hero character, they start off pretty much exactly the same as any of these other characters. So you have to build them from the ground up again, which kind of defeats the purpose. So rather than just switching in these characters for a character that I've spent the whole game so far working on, I'm just going to use the characters that I've been working on for the entire game. The other thing is, there are certain hero characters that are just ridiculously powerful. If you've played this game before, there's probably a certain brown cloaked fellow that you immediately springs to mind, and I think it kind of kills the challenge of the game. So I'm going to stick with these 5. And now let's take a look at the shop. Let's see. It's nothing super important to buy. I want to fill up on potions a little bit. Let's buy 18 of those. 3 Phoenix Downs should be good for now. I don't think I have anyone that can even use them. I want to buy a rod and an oak staff, and that should be plenty good for now. And I've got a couple of spare leather hats and clothes from the two that I dismissed from my party. I can sell those off. There's also the option to go to the fitting room to try on a specific item from the shop and buy it on the spot. But I don't think none of the items I actually bought are stuff that I can use right now. They're just kind of stuff to consider for the future. And there's the bar, which you can read up some rumors that gives kind of background story, but I don't really care a whole lot about. Eventually, you unlock the ability to go on what are they called? Dispatch missions, I guess, where you send out a specific party member to go do a job, and they're out of your party for a specific number of days. But honestly, I don't really care about those a whole lot, so I'm probably not going to end up doing any of them. There are times where I'm going to have to go to the bar to read some rumors to trigger certain plot events, though. There's also the soldier office, where you can change characters' names and recruit new people. But I'm probably, hopefully, not ever going to have to use that. Now, I believe when I go to leave, I get a scene here. So let's watch that scene. Now loading. I guess this is kind of a flashback. I guess everyone has to die eventually. I thought the war was supposed to be over. I guess it's right before the war actually ends. Yeah, so I guess this is the end of the war before it's actually ended, but it might as well be done. Oh, so Ramza is a bastard son. Or I guess... was there a difference between that and a half? I guess you can be a half without being a bastard. You may be the youngest son, and you might only be, a half-blood, but I don't have to tell the other two this. They're not important. So I guess Delta is supposed to be like a Baal's servant. And the lights went out, so obviously that means that he is dead. So Ramza is only half nobility. And with that, I leave you there for today on Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. So, I will catch you later.